So already, I'm just a little bit summarizing. We said when you need to solve any quadratic equation, it should be factorized. And we said if it's given factorized, so it's easy to solve it, I need to take each factor equal to 0. And if it's not factorized, we said that we need to follow different questions to be able to factorize it. Sometimes I could see a visible factor like we have here, for example, x. If I cannot see a visible factor, I need to ask myself the second question could be an identity. Is it an identity what's given? And if it's not one of the identities, I need to see if I can do it using S and P. And we said to do S and P, we have two different methods. When A is 1, we have a method. When A is not equal to 1, we have another method. Already we did the video when A is 1. And we did different example. And now C, sum and product, we did one when A is 1. Now we're going to do in this video when A is not equal to 1. What I will do when A is not equal to 1. Here we have another method. And please, I need to really to focus with me to understand how we're going to do it. So let's start with the first example. I have 7x squared minus 20x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay? I need to solve it, and I will notice that A is 7. So I have A 7, B minus 20, and C minus 3. Now, how are we going to do it? You need to find, guys, two numbers such that the product is equal to A times C, and the sum is equal to B. So here, since I have A7, listen, it's the same idea like before. But A before what was 1. That's why I didn't mention it. And 1 times any number, it gives me 1. If you look at the preceding method, let me go back. Here, I said the product should be C and the sum should be B. Okay, why A is 1? If I 1 times C, so it's C. So that's why I didn't mention A times C. But here we're going to do it this way. So since A is 7, so what I'm going to do? I need to find, okay, two numbers that their product is A times C and their sum is B. So, and then I'm going to look and think about those numbers. So which two numbers, if I multiply them, it will give me minus 21. And if I add them, it gives minus 20. And as I told you, all the time you start by doing the multiplication first. So what times what gives me minus 21? First, 21 is it's a number, we have it, or 21 times 1, or we have 7 times 3, 21. We don't have other than those two choices. So I will think about 21 and 1. If I multiply 21 by 1, it will give me 21. So now I need to think about a negative sign. So if I do minus 21 times 1, it gives me minus 21. And if I add them, if I do minus 21 plus 1, it gives me minus 20. So what are those two numbers? Minus 21 and 1. Excellent. Then now, this minus 20 here that I have it, I will decompose it because I said their sum is minus 21 plus 1. So the minus 20x, I will decompose it as minus 21x plus x. And now I will see, guys, that I have 4 terms. So I have 4 terms. I will do it again or explain again. A is not equal to 1. So I need to find a number. Two numbers that if I multiply them, it will give me A times C, and the sum will give me B. Those two numbers are minus 21 and 1. If I multiply minus 21 by 1, it gives me minus 21. If I add them, it's minus 20. Then I will take this minus 20x and I will decompose it because I have it minus 21 plus 1, the minus 20. So I will replace it by minus 21x plus 1x. So I know what I will have. I will have an expression with 4 terms. 7x squared minus 21x plus x minus 3. And I will do a factorization by grouping. What does mean grouping? I will take each 2 alone and factorize it. So if I take the red, those 2 red here, 7x squared minus 21x, I can easily see that I have a common factor 7x because 21 is 7 times 3. So I have, and here I have 7 times x times x. So I can see easily that's my common factor, my visible factor. I can see. So now I'm back to my visible factor. So I will write it here. So here I have 7 times x times x. And here I have 7 times 3 times x. You need to take all the time the maximum factor. So what is my factor here? It's 7x. So 7x is my visible factor here, 7x, and here I have 7x. What I still have from the first part, x minus 3. Plus, and I still have my second parenthesis, x minus 3. I didn't touch it. I cannot do anything. So if you look here, guys, I will see that I have now two terms. This is the first term. This is my second term because they are separated by a plus. And they have a visible factor, all the factor x minus 3, or all the parentheses x minus 3. So now I can see that I can factorize again by x, all the x minus 3, x minus 3. X minus 3 factor, what I still have from the first one, 7x, plus what here? It's not nothing, it's plus 1. And then now I have it factorized. I can see I have two factors. Guys, for the first time, you're going to feel that it's hard. Don't worry. We'll do many exercises to solve this method. So x minus 3 equal to 0 gives me x equal to 3, or x is equal minus 1 over 7. I will do another example, guys. Don't worry, and then we're going to do it, and you will understand how we're going to do it. And also during the classwork, during the online session, we will do more and more application. I'll move to another example. No, let's move. Now I'll move to the other example. It's here. Example 2. I have also the same idea. I have 5x squared minus 17x plus 6 equal to 0. A is 5, B is minus 17, and C is 6. I need to find two numbers. Their product is A times C, and 6 times 5, 30, and their sum is minus 17. All the time I start thinking about the 13. 30. What times what gives me 30? I have 30 times 1, and I have 15 times 2. So 30 times 1 will not work, because if I add them, it's 31. It's not minus 70, so it doesn't work. Now 15 times 2. Okay, 15 times 2 gives me 30, yes. But 15 plus 2 gives me 17. And I need minus 17, so sure, they should be both negative. So minus 15 and minus 2 gives me minus 7. And now I will decompose. I will decompose my minus 17x by minus 15x minus 2x. So minus 17x is minus 15x minus 2x. Now I have four terms. Again, I will take the first two together. I will factorize it. I see with my visible factor, only as I have 5x times x minus 3 times 5x. So what is my visible factor? I can see it. It's 5x and 5x. What I still have, x minus 3. Did you see it? Now, what is the common factor between minus 2x plus 6? I can see that my visible factor is minus 2, or 2 hala. If you put 2, you will see that you need to change the sign. So it's 2x, and 6 is a 3 times 2. If you put the 2 factor, you're going to have 2 factor of x plus minus x plus 3. And it will not work because I need x minus 3 as a visible factor. So I factorize it by minus 2. So I will have minus 2 factor of x minus 3 as I change the sign. And now you notice if you develop again, minus 2 times x minus 2x minus 2 times minus 3 is 6. So I have the same answer. Now I will go back to see I have my visible factor x minus 3, x minus 3 is all this parentheses. So x minus 3 factor, what I still have from the first one, 5x. What I have from the second one, minus 2. Now I'm safe. It's factorized. So I will take x minus 3 equal to 0. Or 5x minus 2 equal to 0. So I have the solution 3 or 2 over 5. I will do another example. The last example, I will do it before I will stop the video. I will do it. Okay. Another example, the last one. Let's do, for example, let's say I need to do 2x squared. This is the last example. I will do it, and then we'll do the other example at during the online session. 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. Again, I have a is 2, b is 5, and c is 3. I need to find a number that the product p is a times c. If I multiply them, it gives me 6. And if I add them, their sum should be 5. So which two numbers are those numbers? So if I do 3 times 2, guys, it gives me 6, yes. And if I do 3 plus 2, it gives me 5. So the two numbers are 3 and 2. Excellent. So I go back now here and decompose 5x, 3x plus 2x. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, if I take those two first, my visible factor is x. I can see it. So it's x factor. I still have 2x plus 3. And the second one is already 2x plus 3. I can factorize again and again. This is my visible factor, 2x plus 3. So I will have 2x plus 3 factor. What I still have from the first one, x, plus what I still have from the second one, 1, is equal to 0. I'm done. So I will take each one equal to 0. I will have 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, or I have x plus 1 is equal to 0. So it will give me this one, x is equal minus 3 over 2, and the second one, x equal minus 1. Sure, we're going to do more and more application during our classwork.